Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Ruben Vargas Jr., who's getting ready to face Clay Uddley at the A-Town Throwdown number something.
90.
Yeah, I do. I can't. I honestly, I can't read Roman numerals, and I lost count. It's just been so many down there, and so many successful cards down there. But you're getting ready to fight Clay Uddley, March 7th, going down in Austin, Minnesota. Trash Talk is brought to you again by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrink Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, Origin Wellness CBD out in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I hope I said Ink Shrinks Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota. If I didn't, there we go. Here, one more time. Ink Shrinks Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota. And TJ, how you doing tonight, Ruben?
I'm doing good. Damian, TJ. It's good to be back here on Trash Talk. I've been looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, man. You're looking good. You're sounding good, man. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Thanks, man. Yeah, you know what? Like I was saying before the show started, I wanted to dress up for y'all. I wanted to set the new standard for fighters who come on Trash Talk to look the part as well as be the part. So I threw this together right quick for y'all. All nothing but love, man. I'm feeling good, man. Really after the last fight with Bobby Lee, went seriously back to, we all say cliche wise, we're going back to the drawing board, this and the other. I really went back to the drawing board, and man, oh man, I've trained my ass off for this fight, man.
Oh hell
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's what experience is for, is using lessons like that to learn and to grow as a martial artist. How about this fight with Clay? Because when I first heard about this one, I got really excited. You guys are both two guys that don't hesitate from standing in the pocket and throwing. How did you find out about this fight, and how did that all come together?
Yeah, so to be honest, when it came down to like the fight, I wasn't scheduled for anything. At least I wasn't aware of being scheduled for anything. And my boy Randy was walking around the gym. He was like, "Yeah, I'm fighting March 7th." I was like, "Mark, wait, what?" And I'm just finished up jits, and I run back out on the mats. I go, "Coach Tom, I want to fight March 7th. Come on, sign me up for something." And he was like, "Oh, all right, I'll talk to Jeremy." And sure enough, they offered me Clay Uddley. As you guys know, it wouldn't have mattered what name they put on the piece of paper. I just needed an opponent. It didn't matter who. It didn't matter. Last time it was Bobby Lee. It was raising the hand right away, and this time is Clay Uddley. I got a lot of respect for him. I know a lot of my teammates have trained with him in the past, and they've honestly had mixed things to say about all good things. I know he's a good fighter, but as far as like his style and this and that, what I've seen from Clay is he's I use the term scrappy. And one of my teammates said, "Well, he's a lot more technical." And I was like, "That's not what I mean. Yeah. I mean, scrappy is in." I was like, "I don't mean he's not technical. He's a professional. All of us know how to fight." And like I said, I respect his skill set. But when I say scrappy, I mean that he's like me. He likes to throw hands, and that's exciting. We're both like what you consider. We both have good submission skills, good jiu-jitsu, decent wrestling. But at the end of the day, we both have hands. We both got some dynamite that we like to play with in there. So it's gonna be a fun fight. It's gonna be a fan favorite for sure.
Oh man, I mean, you talk about a fan favorite, and you just listed off that you guys both are pretty good at all the same things, but the things that you both like to go out there and do are the exact same as well. How do you see yourselves matching up? I guess at each aspect, and then at the same time, how do you see this fight going?
Oh man, I mean, this is I know I said it last time before the Bobby fight, and I talked to you guys after the fight. There's a lot of factors I could play into why I took that L to Bobby Lee. I think if we ran that back, it'd be a completely different fight. As you guys know, you guys were ringside. I put on a defensive masterclass. To say the least. I think, at least in my opinion and most people's opinions, I wasn't really touched the entire fight. That being said, defense doesn't win you fights, and I knew at the end of every round I was down. I knew that, and that's why I think I went back when I say I went back to the drawing board, for a solid like 6 months. Sometimes you get to a point as a martial artist, as a fighter, feel like you have so much experience. Even though I didn't really believe in the ring rust that I was going to have, it having been over 2 years since I've been in the cage. Um, I, I thought that I spent a lot of time in training, fighting pretty, dancing around, training smart, but not. I didn't have that dog in me during the training camps, and I think I showed that when I fought, and I fought very lax. Bobby was a much bigger guy than me, and because of that, I kind of let him intimidate me while I was in there, and I prepped for a different fight than I was having. That being said, this training camp I've been in the pocket almost every second of every minute, just in the pocket. Everything I've done wrestling, I didn't run not one sprint in my entire preparation for my fight with Bobby Lee. I didn't run not one sprint, and I've run sprint after sprint after sprint. I'm ready to get in there and put the pace on Clay Uddley like you would not believe. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor in the fight, is that we're both scrappy, we're both skilled, but I'm going to put a pace on this dude like he's never felt before, and I'm going to have hands in his face the entire time.
Yeah, and that's I mean that comes with the experience, like you said. You can only go so far before you need to switch things up. As far as this camp, obviously Spartan's the home gym. What have you been doing? I've noticed you've been cross training a lot. Like Damien mentions all the time, we tend to stock a lot of the fighters. So I've seen you've been cross training a lot. Where have you been going for this camp, and who have you been working with?
Yeah, so I mean, my home gym is always and forever going to be Spartan. That's my home gym. All love for all my teammates, Coach Tom. Just, I mean, what an incredible mind. I love you to death, Coach. And other than that, I started working at a title boxing recently. So I met a good guy there who's a lot of fun to work with. My boy Sammy. So we've been putting in a lot of work, and he's got his own little like cross training type of thing too, strength and conditioning. So we've been putting in work there. And I got back to those old school, like hard bag rounds that a lot of times I just forget about, that old grind mentality. Sometimes you end up on a bag and you're just like, you get to a point where so many combinations, this, that, and the other. You're just kind of freestyling the whole time, just playing, where you don't drill. And that's what, like, as an amateur coming up, that's what it was all about, just drill after drill after drill. And I really got away from that. And I feel like a lot of fighters do. That being said, I just recently was up in Fargo, North Dakota. I met Hunter Peterson. As you guys know, you guys have had on the show. What a good guy.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about it in his interview with you guys after the fight, but I met him when we were cutting weight morning of, and he was dying in there in the sauna. And I just got good vibes from this right away. Maybe it's because he's from North Dakota, something like that. I don't know. He's a good guy. And I was like, hey, bro, like, talking and everything, telling me the story about like his hard weight cut, and like, because he like had some troubles at one gym and had to go to another gym. I was like, hey man, do you want a hoodie? I had an extra hoodie with me. And he was like, are you serious? So I went to my locker, and I got him a hoodie and gave it to him. And like, it was super cool. And I had planned to go to North Dakota for the week, and a month prior, and I hit him up. I was like, hey man, you mind if I come out and train at your gym while I'm out there? And he was like, yeah, dude, that'd be great. So sure enough, I hit him up, and him and his team, all those guys out there on his team, super cool guys. It was nice to get fresh looks. It was nice, man. Besides fighting in a cage, I haven't worked in a cage in a long time. Like at one of the gyms I used to train at in Northwest Indiana, we had a cage. We trained a lot there. When I first started MMA when I was like 15, there was a cage, but I never get to really train in a cage, and I don't think it's super important, but it's nice to walk up those stairs and get in there and mix it up and feel that grind against your back and all that. So it was nice to get in there and work with some talented guys out there in Fargo at the Academy of Combat Arts. Love to go up there and train some more with them. They were super cool with me, and I was super cool with all them. And like I said, they all have different skill sets and experience levels, and I enjoyed it a lot. So looking forward to doing some more cross training with them as time goes on.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, that's what's up. I love the fact that people are willing to go out there and cross train and then work with guys, and that you were able to make it out there and work with the commentator. Oh my God, Hunter Peterson. I said before oh my God, I did that once with him. It was kind of funny. But you talked about getting the the work in the cage again, which I think does play a little bit of a factor getting ready to go into a fight, having the walls closed in around you, and having to move around in such a smaller area. And then also, you talked earlier in the interview about being matched up with Bobby Lee, who is a little bit bigger than you, but you and Clay Uddley seem to be a little bit more matched up skill, size-wise. He is still a little bit taller than you, but being matched up with the guy that is relatively the same size as you, do you feel that that's going to play an advantage in your aspect? I mean, for you because you faced such bigger opponents previously and so recently?
Yeah, I do. I like the idea that he's so close to me. And when I say Bobby was bigger than me, like obviously he's taller than me and he's just a lot bigger. Like the guy carries a lot more mass than I do. And Bobby's a big kid. And like I said, as far as I allowed him to the way that he fought because I prepared incorrectly for that fight. I thought we talked beforehand. I thought Bobby was going to be in my face trying to bully me the whole fight because of his size. But I think after the first combination that I nicked him with, I don't think he wanted anything to do with being inside the range of my hands. And he fought me extremely long, and that's no disrespect to him. I just, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of my hands either. So, like, as far as like Clay goes, with him being more my size, like we've mentioned, it's in there. Like if I can hit him, he can hit me, and vice versa. So like those exchanges are going to come down to who's willing to throw more and more often, and who's willing to throw more often, and or more often and faster, and who's willing to chain together the combinations. I know he's probably more inclined to shoot than I am, and if he's not yet, he will be during the fight after he catches his smoke. But like like I think he's more inclined to shoot. That's okay. I've been working on my DDT and my Stone Cold Stunner. If he does shoot, so, I'm definitely ready for that. Ready for the wrestling exchanges. My jiu-jitsu solid. Ready for the grappling exchanges if it comes down to it. But like I said, I have a lot of respect for Clay Uddley, and I think that just like I am, he's gonna try to scrap it out with me. And that's fine. I truly am someone at the end of the day who's okay with out with my shield or on it. I really am okay with that. So, I think we're going to go out there and scrap it out.
Oh man, yeah. I expect a chaotic fight. I expect, like you mentioned earlier, a very fan-friendly fight. Without giving away anything such as a game plan, anything like that, what's the one thing that you have to bring to the cage with you on March 7th to make sure you get your hand raised in Austin?
The one thing I have to bring with me is, man, that thunder and that lightning, baby. Like, man, a little rain too. No, honestly, man, like my game plan, I'm not gonna sit there and act like, like, oh, we want to drag him to the ground and we want to do this. No, I'm gonna go out there and fight you, homie. Like that's just it. We're gonna go out there and fight. Like we're professionals, right? So at this level of the game, it's expected that we can both wrestle. It's expected that we can both do jits. It's expected that we can both mix it up with our strikes, kicks, knees, elbows, all that good stuff. It's expected. And if that's not expected, then we shouldn't be pros. So my game plan is just go out there, be the fighter that I've always been throughout my entire career, and that's forward, 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 pace, 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 pace. I'm that guy who ran a marathon on 3 weeks' notice the day after he got back from a cruise. Never having run more than 12 miles in his life 4 years prior. I'm going to go out there and put that pace on him for the entire 15 minutes we're in there or quicker, whether it means I get caught with the shot and, I'm waking up asking what happened, or the more likely that he gets caught with the shot and he's waking up asking what happened. Either way, it's either going to be like that or it's going to be 15 minutes of war. But we're going to go out there and scrap it out. Like I said, I got nothing but respect for him, but we're going to go out there and scrap it out. And I'm not getting up early in the morning and staying up late at night and putting in all these hours in the gym to lose. So that's just the truth.
Oh yeah. Well, man, I love the confidence. I love
Man.
the shit. One of the things that I was I guess we've broken down one of, or I guess a few of Clay's fights. I don't know, but anyway, uh, I, w- I've broken it down before where I've felt like he's pretty threatening with his jujitsu and has some pretty good submission ability, along to go with his chain wrestling and grappling experience. And you were saying that he likes to throw hands and all of that. What do you feel is his most dangerous weapon that he brings into the cage when he comes to fight you, Mark?
I would say that his most dangerous ability, and I've seen his wrestling ability. I'd say he's got a pretty like solid top game in as far as his grappling goes. I saw him hit an arm triangle finish. I think that's the only one that's like coming to mind really well. It was a yellow cage. It's definitely old school. He's a veteran of the game. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But like when I look at things like that, I don't see. I don't really worry about like I watch people in the gym hit arm triangles on people all day, and I'm like, yeah, but you ain't never gonna arm triangle me, So like, it's just one of those things where like we all respect each other and the skill set, and I think Clay is a very well-rounded fighter. I really do. Like I said, you're never gonna get me here to say that he's trash or this, that, and the other. You're not gonna get that from me. You'll hear me say I think I'm better than him. But I'm not going to call him a trash fighter by any means. I think he brings a lot to the table, and if he didn't, we wouldn't be having this fight. Like if he didn't, we wouldn't be having this. So like, he's got a lot of. It's one of those fights where I got to go in there and I gotta dot all my I's and cross all my T's. But at the same time, you're going to see Marvelous Vargas again, and that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight this kid. So,
man,
I hear he's a really nice guy too. So like, I hear, and I don't mean to say that like I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like I think, and I respect Bobby Lee. Don't get me wrong. I respect the hell out of him. He beat me fair and square. I got no complaints of that. But I'm not gonna lie. I showed him a little too much respect going into the fight. Too much to the point where like. And I think the problem was like we discussed it like in the trash talk. Like I was kind of a fan of his, and like no disrespect to him. Like, but for me to come off the couch essentially after 2 years of no action, and for everything he's done, like I don't think he looked like a masterclass in there. Maybe he had a bad night. Maybe I just had a bad night. I think it showed where I'm at still, like skill level wise, and I just didn't fight my fight. And because of that, that was truly one of those, fights where you either win or you learn. And I learned a lot about the way I need to go back to prepping for. Like I said, I think I just got too comfortable as a martial artist, just realizing like, oh, I'll just continue to like get a little better at this and better at that, but not really like, put it together as far as like fighting again. And that fight, losing the fight the way I did, knowing that I just didn't work hard enough in each round. We've made jokes about in the gym saying if I would have thrown 3 more jabs per round, I could have arguably won the fight, which, actually has a lot of truth to it. Because I've watched the fight probably 100 times now. So this fight, I just know like, hey, we know I have good conditioning, and I'm going to go out there and I'm not afraid to blow my lungs out in there. And I know my body's going to keep moving, unless he catches me a good shot, hats off to him. But man, if you guys have watched me fight before, I can take a shot, so that's not a big deal. I'm not afraid of this cat. We're just going to go out there and have to plug it out.
No, yeah, man. I love the confidence. I love the spirit, I mean, and then working with the guys over at Spartan, having so many guys in there that have watched the fight as many times as you, and you being the go and review the fight so many times, what changes you have to make and knowing what you're exactly capable of. Because one of the things that I always love that fighters say is that they go back and they study themselves and you look at yourself like, how was I beat? How would I beat myself? What do I have to fix? And you always see improvements from guys that think like that and that have training partners that think like that as well. What training partners, sponsors, and I guess people outside the gym do you have to thank leading up to this fight before we wrap up tonight?
Yeah, I have to thank literally everyone who's put any ounce of time, sweat, and even words of encouragement into my ear. just in recent light of like the Wilder Fury fight, I don't know if you guys have done anything on that, but like, fighters or fighters, not fighters, but couch fighters are so quick to talk about a fighter's trash, a fighter's this. Listen, man, like Damian, what TJ, we've all been in there. Like, y'all, listen, like this is something that we've put hours and thousands of hours at this point. I've been training martial arts since I was just a little kid. It kept me out of the streets, it kept me out of trouble. And I started doing MMA when I was 15. I would be 28 in 2.5 weeks. So like, this is something I put thousands upon thousands of hours, countless ounces of blood, sweat, and tears into, like been on the opposite end of winning and losing, and people are so quick from the couch to criticize. This isn't freaking basketball, man. Like and that's no disrespect to basketball. That's an entirely different, like game. But like this is, you step in there across another man who at a professional level especially spends hours learning how to whoop not Billy the tough guy from up the street's ass, but another professional fighter's ass. Like you can't have nothing but respect for someone who does that. This is a hard freaking game. It's not just you versus you out there. It's you versus someone that's trying to kill you out there. And like
the most intimate sport there is, man.
It's 100% the most intimate sport. And that being said, like everybody who's trained with me knows that I train my ass off. I put 110% into every practice, and even with, I'll be the most tired guy in the gym, not because I'm the best, but not because I'm outworking anyone, just because I'm continuously outworking myself. And I say that a lot. I'm like, hey, look, everyone's got the cliche thing. I'm the hardest working person in the room. That's kind of a disrespectful to your teammates. I don't believe someone, my boy Randy is twice as fast as me. So if you give us 2 minutes to throw punches continuous, like he might throw twice as many punches as me. But, if he's putting in 100% and I'm putting in 100%. So I'm just working as hard as I physically can all the time. And, because of that, like I just want to thank everyone who's been there for me, everyone who's continued to support over the years. I've been full contact fighting for almost 10 years now, and and it's just beautiful, the people who have stuck by my side, through the wins, through the losses, and my sponsors, Bad Boy MMA. Y'all know I had to go ahead and throw that hat on.
Raise it up a little bit. I didn't see the logo. Hold on.
There it is.
Okay, hell yeah. There we go.
Man, Bad Boy MMA, they're the best, man. They've been sponsoring me since I was 18 years old. Ruben Vargas, the CEO of the company, changed my life. Was down there watching Miguel Torres fight for the WEC versus Joseph Benavides. And back in 2010, 2010, and I met Ruben Vargas that night. I was just a poor kid who was training MMA. Miguel was letting me bring water to the gym and clean the mats to train there. Shout out to Miguel Torres, what a great guy, and he was letting me, bring water to the gym and clean the mats, and he facilitated me chasing the early ends of my dream, and for sure, and I've got nothing but love and respect. But they've been sponsoring me since I was 18. They changed my life. They've provided me with my gear, my shorts, my shirts, anything that I've needed over the past 10 years. They've hooked me up with. Before and during fight camps, and they've just been great. So nothing but love for them. For my newest sponsors, Hemp Ghana, they're great, man. Y'all don't, I don't smoke weed or anything like that, guys. Because of that, like I never used like hemp products or anything like that. Man, I tried this stuff. I'm like, what have I been doing my entire life, man? The CBD products are phenomenal, and I still don't smoke weed, but these CBD products, man, they help me heal up, and I'm not at anybody who does. That's great. I'm in the military and this, that, and the other. We get drug tested, all that stuff, and it's just something I've gone so long without. I just don't feel like the need to do it. Yeah. But that's not to say when I'm 45 or 50, I won't be sitting back smoking a joint with y'all. But right now, it's not something that's a part of my life. And but the CBD, man, the hemp products, oh my God, they've made such a difference in healing in between practices and whatnot. I'm a total believer in them. So Hemp Ghana. They've been great to me. Drink Simple's been sponsoring me for about 2 years now. I haven't had to buy a Gatorade or a Powerade or anything with electrolytes in it for almost 2 years now, which is just phenomenal. And then my chiropractor doc, my sports doctor, Howard Fiddler. He's just he's incredible with those hands, man. Anytime I got an issue, he doesn't hesitate. When can you get here? When can you get here? And he works on me. The dude is a masterclass. He's just a class act. I love you to death, Doc. And if there's any other sponsor, I don't think I missed any sponsors. But you know, anybody wants to be a sponsor, let me know. Let a brother know. Y'all know I got like 17,500 followers on Instagram, so I'm the guy you want to sponsor as far as an up and coming fighter goes, because I will get your name out there. You know, if there's one thing I know how to do outside of throw these hands, it's I know how to market. So
man,
hell yeah.
You couldn't say any better, because I was going to say that's probably that's top 3 promos cut in Trash Talk history. I love it. I love the support that you have around you to help you grow as a martial artist. Cannot wait for this fight. Could not be more excited for this fight between you and Clay. March 7th, Austin, Minnesota. Be there or be square. Be sure to like this video on right now and subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. And Damian, you want to let them know?
Don't be a hoe like TJ.